Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Hagenstedt map. Let's get back to reliving the glory days. It is making a little bit of a mess of things, but that's fine. And then we'll stop the rake over in the corner, and then once we've gone and picked everything up here with our forage wagon, then we can start this one up again, working on this field to get the land work done while we use our tractor and forage wagon to go and pick up the grass over in the other field, like around the edge of the other one. We've also got the land work on the small one right next to the cows. So we got plenty of grass to be going on with while this tractor works away on the land work on here after we've gone and picked this bit up. So we'll move you out the way. Over there like that. Just park you up there a second. You are racing down through here at breakneck speed and doing a wonderful job. So that is almost finished. We can leave all of that. And I want this one. So I'm going to take you straight over to... We'll go this way. We'll go up that hill over there. Take you straight over to the railway field. And we will start picking up the grass around the edge of that one. Then we can get that rake working, and then we can go on with some more stuff. So we've got this huge, great big silage clamp here. I like that great big silage clamp that we've got, and I do think it's really awesome. But it's also a very, very time-consuming process filling up silage clamps. Now, if people really want me to, if we've got time a bit later on, I did talk about possibly like landscaping the whole of this map into one massive great big field near the end and doing a huge great big crop off of it, but I haven't really felt a lot of love for that idea. So another option that we could do is not massively landscape the entire map, but instead another option is that I could get all of the... Once I've got all of the fields, or when we're getting close, we'll just take all of the fields that we've got. We plant everything with corn, with maize, and then we do one great big silage harvest and take it all down to the BGA. That is another option that we could look at. We could do something like that. Now, I am actually planning, when the new game comes out, to do... One of the new maps will be done with... Okay, we've got a bit of grass over there. One of the new maps is going to be done with my time-lapse series, so I'll look to the new map with time-lapse. Seriously considering the Alps map, because we've already had it confirmed that the Alpine map will be something that will be used in FS22. It'll be updated for FS22. So I'm seriously considering using that map for the time-lapse series. I also like doing... I can't pick everything up there. I also like doing the hardcore series, but I don't think that we want to be running 3 series on 2 maps, not to start with. I think we're going to just do 2 series. So it's kind of going to be something a bit like this. Not going to worry in the least bit about realism or anything like that. I'm just going to go big machinery, pretty much do what I want, and test the game out a little bit and see what we can do. So we will probably start off with a time-lapse series and then a series a bit like this on whichever map that I don't do the time-lapse series on. And then a little bit later on, when we've got a few new maps released, I don't know how long after the game comes out that we could expect that. There will be a couple of maps released fairly early on. We can be certain of that. There will be some people that will really work around the clock in order to get their maps out first. There is always a bit of a race with the map makers to try and get them out as quickly as possible, because... mod creators do actually get paid for downloads of the mod of the in-game mod hub. So it is, I mean, you don't get paid a fortune, but at least would, like, the kind of thing, cover your expenses kind of thing, rather than make a living kind of thing. That's basically what it is. It's a hobby that you can at least have paid for itself, the whole modding thing, if you can get. But I mean, if you can get one of the first maps out and you get a huge slug of downloads and you also get a whole load of positive reviews, you could earn yourself a bit of pocket money. This is what this I'm not basing what I'm stating here on fact, on research fact, I should say, rather than anything else. Not basing this on researched facts. I'm basing this on word of mouth. This is just hearsay. This is just what I've heard from other people. I don't know from any official sources whether or not this is the case. But as far as I know, mod makers do make enough money. Generally, if they can make some reasonable mods, they can make enough money generally to just cover the majority of their expenses. The really good mod makers will cover their expenses and maybe have a little bit of pocket money on the side as well. And it is a small amount. We're not talking anything that... you certainly couldn't make a living doing it, put it that way. You would not be able to make a living making mods. It's a hobby type approach, not a make a living type approach. But there is still competition among, or at least there was when FS19 came out, and I'm assuming this is going to be more so the case when 22 comes out, that there will be competition amongst the mod creators. Okay, let's just fold this up a bit. And I'm gonna move. We can drive these. I'm just gonna move it out the way of the field. We'll drive these away. We'll put them away and so on a little bit later. We won't do that right now because we can do it while the crop is growing. But yeah, among mod creators, there'd be a bit of competition to see who gets, you know, the maps out the quickest. But not just dump out a map as quickly as possible. We're talking about a map that is reasonable quality at minimum. Good quality is really what we're looking for. So it is going to be a few weeks, I would guess, at least. But there will be some mod creators who will be working around the clock to try and get their map out as rapidly as they possibly can. Because if you can get a good quality map out really, really early, you've got no competition for it. And that means that your map is the one that everybody is going to be downloading. Because there's only 2 maps so far. Suddenly there's a 3rd map, and this is a brand new map that no one's ever seen before. It could have features that are not included on the base game map, and we know that the base game map is kind of made for all players, so it takes into account all players, the way the fields are laid out. And a lot of mod maps are made a little bit more based on reality, and so you've got a lot more hedgerows and stuff like that, which a lot of people like. A lot of people do like having the hedges and everything else around, and sort of gives the map a little bit more of a little bit more life to it. My own personal bugbear with that is that some map creators, but I've talked about this before, some map creators sort of design it in such a way that you can't go and alter these little idyllic maps that they've made in any way with the mod terrain tools, because they make it with all the placeables and stuff, and stick those in the way so that you can't move anything around. That's neither here nor there in this particular argument, this particular discussion. It's when the new maps are released, you know, we suddenly get this little bit of competition going on between the map creators, and competition is healthy. This is a good thing, because it means that each one is striving to produce the best map. Yes, we can have them rushed, and so some of the very early maps may not necessarily be very good quality, but that will pretty quickly show up in the reviews and so on, and so it'll ultimately end up that the map creator won't do so well out of it. But there were some maps that were released very quickly after FS19 came out, and they still rank very highly on the lists of popular maps that players have used. So just because it's come out first doesn't necessarily mean that it was completely rushed and is a poor map. There are a couple. There are a few, actually, I believe. So what I'm saying is that a few weeks, maybe a month or two after the release of the new game, we could then be looking at some new maps coming out, and I will start looking at those, and I'll pick one of them to start a new hardcore series. And the hardcore series, I do actually try to do things as realistically as I can on it, so that means... I mean, I do set myself some limitations, which some of you do get a bit frustrated about on those particular limitations. Like no leasing at all, something like that. Have a series of rules on the hardcore series for those of you who don't watch it, who aren't particularly interested in that. I'm really not picking up anything that is on the... you know what? I'm gonna change things round on this map. The bits that we got out on the edges, I'm going to get rid of the grass on the banks. I'm going to do something about that so that I don't have these bits that are left all over the place. Because that can actually cause you sort of like laggy type issues later on. See all those little bits there sticking there? I can't pick most of them up. So we'll do something about that. Anyway, the hardcore series then, we'll pick out a new map that is released a little bit after the release of the game, and we will use one of those to start up a hardcore series. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. I probably won't do the whole carve a farm out of the wilderness type approach again. I've done that now. That's something that we've experienced, and whilst I did enjoy doing the Boulder Canyon series, it was a bit tedious having to cut down all those trees. And so I don't really want to go and do that again. It's sort of... And I also did it in the Black Mountain series as well. So I did it twice, essentially. I ended up doing that whole scenario twice. So I don't want to do it, at least not anytime soon. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind a little bit further down the line as things progress, but right now I'm thinking probably it's certainly not for the first series that I want to go and do. I've got ideas of things that we might be able to do for our first series. We're going to be having grapes and stuff. We know that we're going to be having grapes. They're going to be turning up in the new game. So I am thinking about maybe including that with the hardcore series. Bit reluctant at times to include specialist crops in the hardcore series, because the whole point of the hardcore series is that it's difficult. Like, it takes a while to build up anything. It takes a while to earn the money for doing any of the jobs, to buy any of the machinery. And then there's the issue of how long it takes to do everything, because I can't just sort of like leave bits. I can't speed it up the way that I'd like. This series here, if I feel that things are going too slowly, I just go and buy a machine that's got a 2 million litre capacity and we'll run with that one instead. And that's absolutely fine, because that fits in with the ethos of this series, which is I'll do what I want. I've got no intention of sticking to anything that resembles realism in any way, shape, or form. I will just do it however I like. And that works well for this, but for the hardcore series, I can't really go and get a machine that holds 250,000 litres and stick it on the back of one of my little tractors, because that kind of breaks the whole idea of the series in the first place. So, yeah, I don't know what we'll be doing, but possibly grapes, vineyards could be a little bit of a thing that we could go and do in that one. Not quite sure yet. Really haven't thought it through very much. I am curious to find out if we can put bales into a silage fermenter, which is something that we're going to find out soon. Now, this grass over here, we're going to go and dump. I do, actually, before I go and dump that lot, I do want to go over to you. And you didn't turn around and go back across the field again, so I feel that maybe you should have we could give him a cup of tea and a biscuit for that. I feel that that's something a little bit of a reward. Okay, real life stepped in there for a moment. Let's carry on. So yeah, we were just moving this fella. He's done a good job so far. And he's earned himself a cup of tea and a biscuit. there's not really a lot else to say about the upcoming new game. It's going to be interesting, I think. I'm pretty sure we're going to enjoy being able to play it. Beyond that, we'll just kind of wait and see. I suppose I really do need to go and actually have a look at what the new game's got to offer. It probably would help, and I could talk about it a little bit more than I do at the moment. Although I am aware that some of you don't actually want me to talk about it very much, because you're kind of like me in that you don't want any spoilers for it. You want to sort of find it all out as you approach the game itself. And, well, that's fair enough. I do very much understand that particular round of logic. Now, the only thing I'm a bit disappointed about with this, like, I like the idea of doing a massive, great big silage harvest. So, yeah, it does take quite a bit of time to do the silage like this, though. Like, because it's the rolling of the silage in the clamp that takes the time. That does take a bit of time to do. So, I mean, if we could find something that could roll the silage down faster, we could actually keep the clamp for a little bit longer. But a massive, great big silage harvest before we leave this map could be something that could be interesting to do. And if we don't actually get round to doing a massive, great big silage harvest before we leave, there is, of course, always the possibility that we could go and do a massive, great big silage harvest in the new game. Okay, real life interrupted again, and just trying to haul up the field there. Even this hugely powerful tractor does struggle to start the pull going up the hill there, which is always quite interesting. It would probably help if we picked the reel up rather than racing along the road with it hanging down on the ground. Probably not going to do it a lot of good if we keep treating it like that. Now, I'm not certain that we can get everything that we've got left into this wagon. And I'm also thinking I want to bring this one back out round here. And I'll go over a couple of runs. So we'll sort of go about here. And I'm basically looking at picking up this entire field with like one round. So I'll start going up across the middle, and then we'll go over to the right, and we'll go down the far side one, and we'll just kind of keep looping it round until we've completed the field in this one move. There is the little bit that I want to do at the ends of the small cattle fields, because, yeah, those bits of grass, they're going to continuously be an issue if we're leaving the hired help to just kind of like carry on and do stuff when it starts mowing the field over there. So I kind of want to deal with that. So I might do that in a minute. Well, we might finish this field first. We pick up this field a minute. Then we could go and do that. And then we can go and pick up the last. So we've got one more field to pick up after this one. And then that's all of the grass work that will be finished for now. And we can start taking a look at doing some other things as well. So, what else are we going to want to do? We've got... Well, the planting is done. We're going to need to do one round of fertilizer across all of our fields. And then that'll be it. One thing that... It does annoy me a little bit that we have to do a round of fertilizer. I used to really like that I could do that in one move. In FS13, you could have it set so that you only had to do one lot of fertilizer. And that was it. Here we have to do two. So we can't do it in such a way that we can do it on a single pass. And that does irritate me a little bit. I would like to be able to do it with just one pass, because the fertilizer work is really dull. Right? There's no getting away from it. It's a dull and tedious job, and I don't really want to have to do it. I know I got a really, really wide spreader, and that one goes and does the job for me, but it's still tedious and dull, and I don't want to have to do it. Have we altered the speed that I think we've got fast. I believe that spreader does go quite fast. Although, actually, that one might be one of the ones that can't be altered, like the speed on it. I'm not sure now. We'll have a look. at some of the mods, and we'll see what we can do about fertilizer. We might be able to speed that up a little bit further. I don't know what Stevie has done for tweaking fertilizer mods and fertilizer spreaders and so on. So there may be something that we can use that will essentially eliminate the need for having to do very much fertilizing at all. I don't mean that it won't happen. I just mean that we'll whiz up and down the field so fast and we'll have such a wide width on it that it's going to be considerably easier to get all of the job done. Because I know that some of his spreaders and stuff, he's tweaked them so that they put only a tiny fraction of the amount of fertilizer out onto the ground. He did the same with his slurry spreaders, which I thought was actually pretty good. I thought that was a good idea, but doing that with the slurry spreaders. Which reminds me, we're also going to have to spread slurry on these fields here, and we don't have a pile of money for that. I wanted to buy... Did I already buy the new spreader? I haven't bought the new spreader yet. So there was another thing that we wanted to do. There's so many things that we want to do. That tractor has almost finished the job up over there. Couldn't have a look. There, see? He's doing absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to bring this one in here, and we're going to pick up that row right there. Start whizzing down through here. Then we can turn back around on the left, and we can start doing a loop around there. Unlikely that we'll do all of this field. If the silage fermenter will take bales as well, we can just make bales of grass, and we can do it like that. If that works, that'd be absolutely brilliant, because then we don't have to do a lot of running backwards and forwards with this one. And if we do decide to go and do a massive great big silage harvest before we finish up on this map, then we'll probably end up using the truck to do that. Although it's tipping out the silage is always the issue. When you get to the silage clamp, tipping out the silage from your trailer, that's the difficult bit. So what we might end up doing is trying to do a massive great big silage harvest in the new game instead. It'll be really quite good to test out the mechanics of the game a little bit like that, so we can push it a bit, and it won't take... I mean, Stevie was pretty quick with releasing a whole load of the mods when FS19 came out, so I'm hoping that with FS22, Stevie would also be pretty quick, which means that we'd be able to rely on him to give us some mods that we can then tweak as well in our favor. And we know from past experience that the mods do come out pretty thick and fast to start with. I mean, the first couple of weeks we don't get a lot, other than some that are drip-fed through from giants. But that's fine. We've got a couple of weeks where we're exploring the map anyway, and exploring the new equipment and taking a look at everything. And then after that first couple of weeks, then that's when the mods start dripping through from their creators, as everybody is really starting to bring in the new stuff, and that's where it starts to get quite interesting. Let's have you. Hold you up here, and we will go whizzing off up there with this one. Excuse me. And I guess I could start doing some slurry spreading here on this field. I'm gonna do. We're gonna tidy up this grass here a minute. We're going to do that. I said I was going to do that. We're going to do it. And no, I didn't go and upgrade any slurry tankers yet. That's also on my to-do list. I was actually looking for a slightly better tanker than I had available. So I don't know which of these I was going to get. I think ultimately I decided that maybe that one there would be the one to go for. 18,500 litres. It requires a 180 horsepower tractor to pull it. Then there are some more down this way. Got the Joskin again, but it's got the whole dribble bar, which I don't particularly like. That one was 150. It's 16,000 litres. And doesn't have... Oh, there is a spreading width on it, but it doesn't actually say what the spreading width is. Gooseneck distributor, 30-meter bar distributor. 3-point hydraulic. 30 meter. Oh! Basically, it's got a 30 meter spread on it. That's 28,000 extra. That puts us up to 100 grand for that one. That's expensive. But I tell you what, I'm actually seriously considering that one. I mean, our tractor, what is our tractor? It's the horsepower, it's 175. It should be able to pull it. It should be able to cope with it. 30 meter spread, but it's not actually a full 30 meter bar on it, which is quite a bit different. I like this idea. It does only hold 16,000 litres, but I'm willing to overlook that. And then there's this one up here at this end, which is 20,000 litres and does a 15 metre spread on it. So actually, I'm liking the idea of this one. It'd be a lot quicker to do the muck spreading. But that's close to 100,000 to get that one, which at the moment we don't have. We've got -4. So we're not really in a position to buy that just yet, but we could be soon. What is the price gone up to? We're 1137, so it'll be tomorrow. How could we do this? I'm not taking... Well, I could take some more loan out. Like, loan is something that I've not actually... You know, I've said that I don't really want to do loan, but I've done loans before to get stuff. Maybe now is the time to take out another loan, and then we could have a 30-meter spreader to do that. I think this might actually be the answer. This might be what we need to do. I don't think I'm going to get everything in here. I've got currently 70,000... Well, it's actually 67,000 litres of space left in this trailer. So I'm going to run around here and then we'll empty it out. And I still haven't gone and done that. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go here. We're going to go to landscaping. We're going to... First, we'll go over this way so we don't have to sort of turn it around. And all I... Not enough money to make modification. Not enough money. You know what? I'm going to go forward an hour. And then we'll see how you like your not enough money. In these wild accusations. We'll jump forward an hour. We'll see it's going to change the prices a little bit. And... That's 150 at the ranch. I don't think the ranch is going to be the one that's going to ultimately end up giving us... It'll be in the morning that we can sell all of that. Great demand at Sawmill. Okay, so that's not going to benefit us. Sawmill, 302 for wood chips now, so we're not interested in that. But we now have 9 grand in kitty, so start landscaping, and we go into here. So what I want to do with this is I don't want to change anything much. I got brush strength down as low as it can go. And all I'm doing is I'm using the middle mouse button now to do the kind of the smoothing, leveling bit. And what that does is it will remove any grass that's growing, but it also will remove anything that's on the ground as well. So I'm not going to have any grass on this area right here, which will possibly, you know, it could look a little bit strange, but I'm actually willing to overlook that bit and just have it as... Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.